Princess Eugenie just walked into that royal event like nothing happened, and honestly, the internet is losing its mind over it. But here's the thing that nobody's talking about. The actual truth behind these appearances might surprise you more than any headline ever could. Now, before we dive deep into what's really going on, you need to understand something crucial about how royal scandals actually work, because what you think you know about Prince Andrew's situation and his daughter's standing in the family might be completely different from reality. According to multiple reports over the past few years, Prince Andrew has been at the center of serious controversy, leading to major decisions that changed his role within the monarchy forever. And while online rumors have circulated suggesting various dramatic developments, including claims of arrests, there is actually no verified record from any reputable British news organization confirming such an arrest ever took place. Let me repeat that because it's important. Despite what you might have read on social media or clickbait sites, credible outlets like BBC News and The Guardian have not reported any confirmed arrest connected to the Duke of York. What did happen, though, was arguably just as significant for the royal family's reputation and structure. Back in 2019, Prince Andrew made the decision to step back from official royal duties after mounting public pressure regarding his associations and controversial interviews that didn't exactly go well with the British public. And if you remember that BBC interview, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was rough. But here's where things get even more interesting and where Princess Eugenie's story really begins to take shape in the public eye. When King Charles III took the throne in 2022, he made a decisive move that sent shockwaves through royal circles by removing Prince Andrew's military affiliations and royal patronages, essentially stripping away the formal trappings of his royal working life. Now, you might be wondering, what does all of this mean for Princess Eugenie? And that's exactly what we need to unpack, because her situation is way more nuanced than tabloid headlines would have you believe. Here's something that might surprise you. Princess Eugenie's personal status as a non-working member of the royal family wasn't actually altered by any of her father's controversies or the institutional changes that followed. Think about that for a second, because while her father was essentially being edged out of official royal life, Eugenie's position remained technically unchanged, at least on paper. But of course, public perception is an entirely different beast, and that's where media scrutiny comes into play in ways that are honestly fascinating when you look at the patterns. Every time Princess Eugenie shows up at a royal event, tabloids go into overdrive, portraying her attendance as dramatic, symbolic, or even defiant, using language that suggests some kind of shocking rebellion or institutional crisis. But according to verified reporting from credible sources, her appearances have consistently followed established royal traditions and family invitations, rather than representing any official shift in policy or punishment. Let me paint you a clearer picture of what's actually been happening over the past few years, because the reality is less dramatic but somehow more interesting than the gossip. Since her father stepped back from duties, Princess Eugenie has continued to attend major family events, including Easter services, memorial ceremonies, and those famous Christmas Day church walks at places like St. George's Chapel and Sandringham that we see photographed every year. She's frequently accompanied by her husband, Jack Brooksbank, and these appearances signal something important. She remains integrated into family occasions even though she doesn't carry out state-funded engagements on behalf of the crown. Now, here's a crucial detail that often gets lost in sensational coverage. There has been no formal announcement from Buckingham Palace indicating that she has been barred from royal events or stripped of any status whatsoever. Zero. Nada. Nothing official exists to support those dramatic headlines. And honestly, when you think about the way royal communications work, if something that significant happened, we would absolutely know about it through proper channels. So why do we keep seeing these shocking headlines about her appearances? Well, part of it comes down to how the media frames stories about extended royal family members, especially during times of institutional change and public controversy. As someone who's not a working royal supported by the sovereign grant, Eugenie's attendance at public ceremonies is typically viewed as a matter of private family inclusion rather than constitutional duty, which is actually a pretty important distinction that gets overlooked constantly. But wait, there's more to Eugenie's story than just showing up to family events, and this is where things get
get genuinely interesting from a personal perspective. Throughout all the drama surrounding her father, Eugenie has continued her professional career in the art world and has remained seriously active in charitable initiatives, particularly those connected to anti-slavery advocacy and humanitarian causes that she supported for years, completely independently of her father's circumstances. That demonstrates something significant: continuity in her personal commitments regardless of broader family headlines swirling around her. According to verified photographs and official communications throughout 2023 and 2024, she's been participating in family milestones and celebrating personal events, including the birth of her second child, with public messaging focused squarely on family life and philanthropy rather than controversy. Now, I find this approach genuinely admirable because instead of feeding into the drama or making public statements about family matters, she's chosen a path of measured visibility that speaks volumes without saying anything at all. There have been discussions reported in the British press about the future of residences such as Royal Lodge, which have centered on housing arrangements related to the Duke of York. But here's another important fact: there has been no confirmed report tying those property matters directly to Princess Eugenie's own standing or suggesting any punitive action against her personally. Royal commentators frequently observe something that makes total sense when you think about it. As a granddaughter of Queen Elizabeth II, who is outside the core group of working royals, Eugenie occupies a distinct position that allows her to maintain familial ties while pursuing an independent professional identity. Her steady attendance at traditional events suggests continuity rather than rebellion or defiance, which honestly seems like the most logical interpretation when you look at the actual evidence rather than inflammatory headlines. During periods when senior members of the royal family have faced health challenges or reduced public schedules, extended family members, including Eugenie, have appeared at gatherings, further underscoring that she remains part of the broader royal circle according to consistent mainstream coverage from reputable outlets. Although some media headlines love to characterize her appearances as shocking or controversial, there is genuinely no verified evidence from official palace communications or court records to support claims of dramatic confrontation, disciplinary action, or exclusion involving her personally. Let me be completely clear about what the confirmed facts actually show, because this matters if we're going to understand the real story here, rather than just recycling gossip. Princess Eugenie has continued to attend select family events, support her charitable interests, and maintain a relatively low-profile public presence since her father's withdrawal from official duties. There is no documented arrest of Prince Andrew despite recurring online rumors, and there is no official move removing Eugenie from her place within family occasions. So what does all of this really mean, and why should we care about getting the facts straight? Well, much of the speculation surrounding her appearances actually reflects media framing rather than confirmed institutional change, and understanding that distinction is crucial in an era where royal coverage often blurs the line between verified reporting and sensational storytelling. The truth is that Princess Eugenie represents an interesting case study in how extended royal family members navigate public life when close relatives face controversy. She's maintained dignity, continued her personal work, shown up for family when appropriate, and avoided feeding unnecessary drama. From where I'm standing, that seems like a pretty reasonable approach to an undeniably difficult situation. And the fact that she's managed to keep her own identity and charitable work separate from her father's controversies actually speaks to a level of independence that deserves recognition. The bottom line is this: despite what countless headlines might suggest, Princess Eugenie's relationship with the royal family appears to be following private family dynamics rather than institutional punishment. Her father has not been arrested according to any verified reporting from credible news organizations, and her continued presence at family events reflects tradition and personal choice rather than defiance or drama. So, the next time you see a shocking headline about Princess Eugenie appearing somewhere she supposedly shouldn't be, maybe take a moment to consider whether the real story is actually just a woman attending family events during complicated times while maintaining her own professional and charitable identity. Because honestly, that might be the most remarkable thing about her story: the fact that there isn't really a scandal there at all, just measured grace under extraordinary public scrutiny. And in today's media landscape, that's actually pretty refreshing to witness.